time is near, so near it's stirring the blood in their veins, and yet beware.
Greetings. This is political economic analyst Bradford Townsend. This video is an attempt to communicate my philosophy and worldview, radical naturalism. Please let me begin by defining the philosophical terms radical and naturalism, beginning with naturalism. Naturalism is a materialistic worldview, i.e., the cosmos is made of fundamental components, quarks, electrons, protons, neutrons, and energy. These components, energy and particles, combine to form atoms, then molecules, then stars, and biological cells evolving into complex life forms, a process which has gone on for millions of years. Who are we? We are human beings, great apes, Homo sapiens. Human beings are animals. Humans eat, sleep, mate, and defecate the same as other animals. Naturalism does not recognize divine revelation, spirits, deities, souls, heaven, hell, phantoms, or miracles. A radical naturalist thinks empirical inquiry, applying the scientific method of hypothesis testing by careful observation, repeatable, reproducible experiments are the highest quality opinions and corresponds most accurate to reality, metaphysics, ontology than other ideologies, religions, and philosophies. An example are English scientist Michael Faraday and Scottish scientist James Clerk Maxwell using experiments and mathematics to advance human knowledge of electromagnetism and electrodynamics. What makes me a radical naturalist philosopher? By radical, I mean political radical, and individuals whose goal is to change the foundation upon which scientific naturalism's superstructure rests. Two giants whose shoulders I wish to perch myself are Henri Poincaré and Kurt Gödel. Henri Poincaré was a French mathematician, engineer, popular science author, and physicist. Dr. Poincaré's output of noteworthy science fills volumes and is humbling and staggering. The three-body problem is a pivotal concern to radical naturalism. A reductionist simplification of the paper is a small error at the beginning of a computation can lead to a large error in the result, making the calculation essentially useless. The engineering left brain of Henri Poincaré views mathematics as a useful toolbox for making practical estimates. The estimates can be used to manufacture smartphones, jet airliners, and weather satellites. Furthermore, mathematics can be used to calculate the number of elves in J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings Middle-earth. Logical abstractions do not have to have any causal corresponding connection to reality. What Henri did to computer science and computation, Austrian-American Dr. Kurt Gödel did to logic and the larger enterprise of mathematics. Kurt posited that abstract objects such as point and triangle are impossible to precisely define. A mathematical theorem can neither be both complete and correct. A theorem can be complete only if the axioms from which the theorem is built are acknowledged to be imprecise. A complete theorem would be impracticably long. Bradford's philosophy of pastries. An illiterate Parisian baker, Louis, in the 1700s, could bake delicious fruit pastries without knowledge of chemistry. The baker would not need to know how many protons a carbon atom has. He did not need to know the difference between an endothermic or exothermic reactions. He did need to know how much flour, sugar, yeast, eggs, fruit, and whipped cream was needed to bake 4 dozen pastries. Louis needed the knowledge from tinkering by generations of pastry chefs. The jetliners that hourly cross the Pacific Ocean between Los Angeles and Tokyo are the result of tinkering by generations of aerospace engineers using the estimating tools of mathematics and computers. Physicists and engineers, applied physicists, do not understand the mechanism of gravity, yet 99.99% of their aircraft designs arrive safely. The same can be said of smartphones, nuclear ballistic rockets, and weather satellites. A physician may write a prescription that is beneficial to her patient without understanding the details of the medication's effect. A more radical view is that the laws of physics can change. Why does the speed of light have to be the same figure in 5 billion years from now, or have been the same 5 billion years in our past? The gravitational constant big G seems to vary. The Big Bang Theory seems to me as a theist overreach by scientists with delusions of grandeur. An honest answer to many questions, such as where the cosmos came from, is, I do not know. Radical naturalism has the courage to admit ignorance. Ignorance meaning lack of information, to have a rational, empirical, logical, reasonable opinion. In conclusion, tinkering strengthened by guesstimating and theory should be applied to boldly hypothesize. Advances in scientific knowledge begin with an original hypothesis. An ability to change our worldview upon receiving new information different from that passed on to us from our ancestors is vital for our progress as the family of Homo sapiens. This has been a philosophical primer by analyst Bradford Townsend, wishing you farewell, over and out.